Good morning. You know what I can tell? This is not Super Bowl. Because we have people. Wait, is it next week? I was pretty sure it was. You know what happened this morning? Janice and it did come out, and I am always happy about that. Janice and I woke up this morning and went, oh boy, we get to go to church today. We've been doing this we started that idea 19 years ago, which is kind of weird. And it's always that way. Always. There's never been a single Sunday where we didn't have joy in our hearts to come in and say, Hi YouTube. The only church in the universe that starts services with the Doobie Brothers. Only one. Winco, good supermarket here. We're in Washington State. Actually, the weird part, because it was minus 13 in 1996 today.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, that's cold. That was so cold. That was so cold. But Winco, good supermarket, but do you know that their bins that have these little bones in it for the dogs says no samples? I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's only on the ones with the little bones. So, I don't know. More sweatshirts. A party without cake is just a meeting. Sisters, different flowers from the same garden. Karma takes way too long. I'd rather just smack you right now. There's, the periodic table, and you've got the little square, and you've got a great big U and an M, the element of confusion. As opposed to Om. Note to self, just because it pops into my head does not mean it should come out of my mouth. Why is Jan looking at me shaking her head? Yeah, that's the one for me. Okay, fine. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Huh? Which? Yeah, that one too. That one too. Where's today's calendar? Anyway, it's a new calendar, new month, all kinds of stuff on there. I don't have one, so I can't say anything. Someone's running up with one.
All right.
Thank you.
After
Someone.
Tracy's giving t-shirts.
Oh, okay. All right. So, this upcoming week, raffle tickets. Actually, does anybody want to talk about the raffle?
Yeah, do you want me to do that now?
Sure, why not? Since that's the first thing on the list.
So here is the beautiful quilt. And Chris Powell happens to be in our audience today, if she doesn't mind standing
Thank you,
up.
Chris. If the people on YouTube can't see this, it is just fabulous.
And I got to tell you guys, she puts this together and volunteers it and donates it to us. This is a great, huge effort and value. If you don't have any idea how long it takes to make something like this, just talk to her. So, with that said, last time we announced it that we were going to be selling raffle tickets, and we're going to start pre-selling them as soon as we get them made. We had mentioned the price of $2. After seeing the quilts, I'm going to go back to the original way. We agreed that it's going to be $5 a ticket. There are going to be special tickets made. And as soon as we get them, I'm going to start pre-selling them. What we're going to do is have them in packets so that we can hand them out to people to go out in the community and sell the tickets. So it won't be just us; it'll be you outreaching to the community as well. So absolutely amazing, just beautiful.
Cool.
Ooh, I'm standing on it.
Yeah, even the back is cool.
Yeah. Wow. Tracy, you're too funny. He's all hiding back there. Yeah.
Most clothes inside out don't look that good.
No. Communion for February. I'm just going to send around. It's a little calendar this time. You know, I didn't print off pages. So just sign your name and your telephone number if you would like to help us out. Each week we put together the communion that we share at the end of service, and it's a really good way if you would like to give back to the church. So if you sign your name and telephone number, then Lori will contact you the day before to remind you. Now this doesn't just include the putting it together for, putting it up at the altar for us to share. It also means the cleanup of it. Now, a lot of the time somebody closing up the church and stuff ends up having to clean it up. But that's part of the communion process, and volunteering to do it is also to grab them when they're done and take them back and clean them up as well. So there
And the
is
scraps go to the birds.
scraps. If there's any left over, they go to the birds, unless it's raining and they get mushy. So yeah, if you would feel guided, or you want to volunteer to help out here at the church, that's one way of doing it. I'm going to send that around.
Yeah, just throw it out back.
Yeah, in the labyrinth, like by that table or someplace, they just kind of toss them out there. And then Tracy has something to say.
Question. Yes. If there's just one person signed up on there, by all means, sign your name there as well.
If you want, yeah.
One person can't put it together, but it's always nice to have a team. So yeah, if you want to already know, go ahead.
Okay, you've all heard it said here before, shift happens, right? We're having a t-shirt class on the 20th to make t-shirts that say shift happens. I have sign-up sheets. It's $20. You bring your own t-shirt. Unfortunately, I was ill-prepared, so I don't have the t-shirt. I pulled it out of the drawer this morning and left it on the dresser. So I will take a picture of it and put it on the Divine Fellowship's group page. If you're not a member of the Divine Fellowship group, make friends with Janice on Facebook, and then she can add you, and you can ask, to be added to that. There's a lot of information that happens in that group page. So anyhow, sign-up sheet's $20. It's 11 to 3 on the 20th of February.
Thank you. Article on the back by Janice, and every cotton-picking day of the week we have stuff going on at the church. Isn't that wonderful? Motion Code on Monday, Intuitive Development on Tuesday, Interchange, Sandra and William on Wednesday, Edgar Casey, ARE on Thursday, Destiny Mapping on Friday, and Reiki on Saturday with Valerie. So, cool. Come to think of it, when we first got in this building, we try to help as many people as we can. There was another couple that wanted to start a church. So, thought that was a great idea. And they wanted to use our building. So, we offered it to them at no charge. And they had services every week for quite some time. Couldn't quite do anything with it. They had to make their living from the money that they got. Interesting. But that's probably why our church has always done really well, because Janice and I make our living doing what we got and other things. So, if you want to lose weight, weigh yourself when there's a full moon. You'll weigh less. Yeah. So did you weigh yourself? Never. I'm not going to ask that. I am not that stupid. Things that make you go, People who have no weaknesses are terrible. There's no way of taking advantage of them. That's 1844, Anatole France. Oh, this was interesting. October 10th, 1492, brought an end to the complaints of Columbus's wary and disgruntled crew members, for on that day, deckhands fished from the waves a green branch with a blossom on it. Before evening, they also found a reed and a staff that bore carvings clearly made by human hands. No doubt about it, they were close to land. Soon, the great explorer learned that he had touched a cluster of islands rather than the mainland of India, which he had been seeking. Still, as he proceeded leisurely from one island to another, he continued to send passengers, totally incapable of making themselves understood, to the natives to ask for directions to the palace of the great Khan. Strange animals, queer plants, and odd customs were encountered daily. True, there was no evidence of the huge gold nuggets that were supposed to be lying around in abundance. Neither did they find spices that was the major inducement for the voyage. But after exotic things dulled the edge of his disappointment. Other exotic things. In his journal, November 6th, Columbus recorded the report of a pair of men sent into the interior of an island on a scouting expedition. My messengers reported that after a march of about 12 miles, they had discovered a village with 1,000 inhabitants, which is a lot of people back then, actually. The natives had received them ceremoniously and had lodged them in the most beautiful houses. They encountered many men and women carrying some sort of cylinder in which sweetly smelling herbs were glowing. Not those herbs. So the people sucked the other end of the cylinder, and as if to drink in the smoke. Natives said they called these cylinders tabacos. Spanish adventurers confused the Carib word for the reed tubes with the dried leaves burned in bowls at the end of them, and tobacco entered a world speech to designate the odd plant from the Americas. And I'd never really heard quite that before. But, you know, we almost missed our patron saints, George Carlin and John Lennon. And John said, "I believe that time wounds all heals." Probably. And George, soft rock music isn't rock. It isn't music. It's just soft. So. After putting, and I've done this one before, but it's still funny. After putting your grandchildren to bed, actually it's been 3 years. So if you've heard this before, you've been here for 3 years. After putting her grandchildren to bed, a grandmother changed into old slacks, a droopy blouse, and proceeded to wash her hair. As she heard the children getting more and more rambunctious, her patience grew thin. Finally, she threw a towel around her head, stormed into their room, putting them back to bed with stern warnings. As she left the room, she heard the 3-year-old say with a trembling voice, "Who was that?" Everything weighs 1% less at the equator. So there's another reason to weigh yourself, a full moon at the equator. That's the way to do it. For every extra kilogram carried on a space flight, 530 kilograms of excess fuel are needed at liftoff. The letter J does not appear anywhere on the periodic table of elements. The letter J. That's significant, right? Yeah, I know. Thank you for saying that. It's not. Okay. Let us pray. Give me a sense of humor, Lord. Give me the grace to see a joke, to get some humor out of life, and pass it along to other folks. Husbands are husbands. Man was sitting reading his paper when his wife hit him around the head with a frying pan. "What was that for?" the man asked. The wife replied, "That was for the piece of paper with the name Jenny on it that I found in your pants pocket." The man then said, "When I was at the races last week, Jenny was the name of the horse that I bet on." The wife apologized, went on about her housework. 3 days later, the man's watching TV when his wife bashes him in the head with an even bigger frying pan, knocking him unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, the man asked why she had hit him. Wife replied, "Your horse phoned." Oops. Oops. I know, he probably didn't get it, but that's okay. You don't have to explain it either. All right, let's sing a song. You know, I know it has to do with angels. I think it's Calling All Angels. So, you know, I keep a list because I go, "Oh, we haven't done that song forever." And I go, "Oh, we did it last week." And I'm like, "Dang, we did it last month." So I try to keep everything where we only do them every 3 or 4 months or longer when I've completely lost my mind.
Help me with this, please. Got to grab your phone where you can, right? Right? Fun stuff today. Forgot the book. Need the book. So Phil and I were talking yesterday. He has a new Volkswagen Bug, So he's doing all this work on it. And he just discovered that the floor pan on one side is like totally rusted out. So he's like, well, come out, I want to show you. I want to show you. So one side he's got all done and it's all fixed, and the other side still has this rust. It's a 63, 65 bug. What is it, Phil? He's lost. And oh man, I took one look at it and my heart just went, ooh. I was like, I can't, I was totally overwhelmed. And then I went back in the house and I started working on some of my stuff. And I was like, anybody else would look at my stuff and go, be overwhelmed. But I'm looking at my stuff going, oh, and I get to do this and I get to do that and I get to do this other thing and I hope I can find time for this because I want to do that. So overwhelmed is an option. Sometimes we just get overwhelmed because we aren't doing what our soul wants to do. If you love it, it doesn't matter how hard it is, right? You experience that? So I want to talk to you about some of the stuff that, so I'm setting that up because I don't want you to get overwhelmed by what I've got going, because I'm so excited about the stuff I got going. You don't have to do it. You don't have to even keep pace with me, because God knows if I ever get it done or not. It's just stuff I want to do. This is a little loud. Okay, I'll just keep talking. I'm talking now. Whatever. Visitors are looking like, oh my gosh, what is this place? It's just whack. Yes, it is. Welcome home. So as I was preparing for today, I thought, oh, you know, let me just ask, what would be a really good verse for you guys to know? And so a verse popped in my head, and I thought, how does that relate? So I'm not really sure how it all relates, but I want to share it with you because it came through. And that's really cool. So it's from, not that one. That one. That one was, this one is a follow-up one because I thought, oh God, I can't do that one because that one doesn't make any damn sense. Oh, come on, I'm not the only one that argues with God. I know you do. You just don't admit it. All right, so this is the second line. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. And to follow up on that one, the path, if your paths are straight, the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn that shines brighter and brighter until the full day. The reason I love that is because sometimes when we get started, we don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. We're just one foot in front of the other. But the day gets brighter and our path gets clearer, does it not? So here's the verse. And it will come about after this, that I will pour out my spirit on all mankind. And your sons and daughters will prophesy, and the old men will dream dreams, and your young men will see visions. So let's ponder that just a bit. And it will come about after this. Now this same passage is referred to in the New Testament, and it was in Acts, and it was after the passage of Jesus. And this particular verse, and it shall be in the last days. So we're in the last days. Okay, I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of religious groups right now because they say the end days are coming. Yeah, we've been in the end days since Jesus died. And it's been 2,000 years, and we don't know when the end days are going to, culminate. But don't be waiting for some big disaster to come that's an end days. We're in it. We're in it. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. No, I won't. I will pour my spirit out on all mankind. Now, because we're in the end days, this applies to you and me. I will pour my spirit out into all mankind. All humans, all of us, now have an outpouring of spirit that will give us the ability to prophesy, dream dreams, and see visions. Now, how cool is that? So what do we do with all of that? So the prophesy, that's being able to see what's coming. and to be able to prepare and be able to support one another in that. And the dream dreams, this is not just, you close your eyes and go to sleep. This is about having hopes and dreams and aspirations. And your aspirations don't have to look like mine. Phil's aspirations is to work on this bug, and I think about it and go, oh my God, just buy another car. When, 2 years newer, just as bad. Whole nother story. Anyway. But it's having those dreams and hopes. So, did you see the newspaper today? I don't know. Maybe you didn't get the paper. Pickles. There's always something going on in pickles. And the little boy was telling his grandpa that he dreams about porpoises. Because his mom tells him to have a dream before you go to sleep and wake up with porpoise. And Grandpa says, well, I think she means purpose. Well, I think a porpoise would be more fun. But dream the dreams that fuel your soul and give you porpoise in your life. Fun porpoise. And you'll see visions. And this is inspired visions. This is being able to perceive truth on a whole nother level. So I've been dreaming dreams. I've been having visions. And I want to share some of that with you because I want you to. It's not just enough for me to do it. I want you to do it. You can do it. You're part of this whole humankind that is receiving the outpouring of the Spirit, and you have access to this. So I want to show you what I got. Somebody gave me this cute little book, and so I wrote on it, Books by Janice Lynch, because I'm writing again. And then I made all of these wonderful little bookmarks of all the books that I want to write. I need to live like 3 lifetimes, this one. One is Jalen and the Bullyproof Vest, Jalen and the Stormy Mood. My daughter's name is Jalen. My granddaughter's name is Jalen. And I was telling her about these books, and I said, and Jalen and the Stormy Moon. She said, Grandma! I said, there you go, right there. Because let's face it, we all get in a stormy mood, and the key is knowing how to get out of the stormy mood as quickly as possible. Jalen says goodbye. That's about grief. And her stepbrother is Nicholas, and he's just a wiggle guts. And so I'm writing a book, Nicholas Just Couldn't Be Still. And he's a wiggle guts because he's an empath, and he picks up everybody else's energy. So wouldn't it be good for a kid that's like 9 to know how to deal with being an empath? Yep, it would. And then, I've had visions of stuff. So remember the interdimensional shift class? I told you about that. Well, I was able to observe an interdimensional shift the other day. Sorry, visitors, it's just too much fun. And so rather than me connecting with myself that's in another dimension and sharing information, which is what I teach in that class, this one I observed, one of the people was loved and cared for and genuinely sweet, wonderful person, but she was passing from an illness. And her support person on the other side, on another dimension, whether there is or there isn't, it's great fun to think about, right? Had everything in life but was miserable, didn't have any friends, and wanted to die. So they connected and they switched spots. This one passed away peacefully, and this one now had a new life to live. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would make a great book, wouldn't it? So that's on my book list, and the title of that is That Was Yesterday. And then I'm also writing a book also about interdimensional shift that's based on dragons and way fun stuff, and that's called Shift Happens. So then I thought, well, I've got this little book, it's got a little opening here. I'm going to put in here little things that will help me. What do I need to write all that? I need creativity. So that's one of the little things am I putting in there. Opportunity. And sometimes you got to make an opportunity. Because I'm not going to say I'm not going to say find time. I need to find time. I did that once. Phil, I've got to find time to do blah blah blah. Phil and I went for a walk in the mountains, and I found a watch. So God has a sense of humor. If you don't think so, hang out with me a while. It's just silly. So opportunity is different than time. Everybody has the same amount of time unless you find to watch. Delegation of duties. You know, there's things that, you know, if I'm going to do all this stuff, there's other things that other people are ready to do, and I get to let them do that. Focus, got to need focus. Vitality, got to have energy to do that. And inspiration. So that goes in my little box here. These are symbolic representations of what my dreams are. There's more on that to come. Oh, let me do this one first. Then I thought, well, let's do guided meditations. So I've got some guided meditations I want to do. And I thought, well, what would symbolize guided meditations but a CD? So my son and grandson showed me how to throw a CD in the microwave and he gets all these little crinkly things. I wouldn't advise it. Leaves little sparks everywhere. So, but anyway, it was fun. So when these little washers look like little baby CDs, right? So the brain doesn't know the difference between truth and reality. You know, when you use a symbol, symbolism is the language of spirit. And when you speak symbolism, the spirit within you can manifest more easily. Did you know that? How fun is that? So here's the CD, and it says Guided Meditations by Janice Lynch. And the first one is A Quest for a Vision. I do a Dream Quest class. And in that Dream Quest class, the most recent classes, I've been sending them to have their own vision. So I want a CD to help them do that. Then there's the Control Room Healing CD. I want to do that. We go into a control room and we have panels and mechanisms that we can change. I want to do that one. And you can go down deeper, deeper, deeper and get clearer, clearer, clearer. You can also go up. So there's actually 2 CDs with that one. That's the Ethereal Control Room. And then the No Pain. Remember, we did a No Pain guided meditation here one time. So I want to do that one, get that physically manifested. Manifesting. Manifesting is that part of you where you have a hope and dream, and it becomes a reality. And it starts with dreams, and oh, here's what I want to do, and the excitement of that. And the manifesting is just getting her done. And so there's steps of that. And then this little card is all about the classes I want to do. I do a Dream Quest class, which is transformative, Butterflies Transformative. And I'm oh my gosh, that gets to shift. I've been, how long have I been teaching Dream Quest, Bill? 20-something, anyway. And it's always growing, always changing. Well, now it's got to, Tracy is, she's been helping me. She's accepted the position of being my apprentice. And so she's been helping with that, but she's also got all this ideas and energies and that. So she said, you know what? You should have an advanced Dream Quest class. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I can. I don't know. So as I looked at my paperwork, for every class that we learn in Dream Quest, I've got an advanced thing to do. So I'm like really excited about that. So there's foundations and there's capstone. And then I've got a bunch of tarot classes that I want to teach and have online. One is called Word Up, and one is these little story tiles. They're not even little tarot, they're little tiles, and we're going to make our own little stick figures and stuff, and that'll be way fun. And then a whole book or email, online stuff about tarot layouts for that, plus some videos. So lots of stuff going on. Before I did all that, before I wrote my first book, I created myself a little scroll, tied it up, and put this in the display case in the back. We cleared the display case out and gave everybody a place to put your hopes and dreams, things that you were manifesting. And so I put this out there, and it stayed out there for a while. But every time I came to church, I lit a candle and I saw it, and was like, yes, I'm manifesting that. The hardest, best thing I ever did, not for everybody. Again, your dreams and hopes may not be mine, may not be the same as mine. But by symbolically putting a scroll in the display case, that motivated me and encouraged me to follow through. So I'm asking you, we're going to clean out the display case again. So starting next Sunday, we're going to have space for you to be able to put symbolic objects in the display case that will relate to your hopes and dreams. So what are your hopes and dreams? We all have them. If you don't have them, ask for the Spirit of God to give you some. You have access to that Spirit. It's been poured out. It's a promise. It's a gift. So pray for that. And maybe it's just doing more of what you do. That's fine. But symbolically put an object in there. Now, here's the deal. I've seen people who will write a check to themselves. Now, sometimes some people say, oh, that just works great. No. No. And here's why. Money is energetically neutral. It is a barter, it is an exchange. What are you going to do with that money? You're going to take a trip? Put trip tickets in there. Fake trip tickets. So your brain doesn't know the difference between a fake trip ticket and a real trip ticket. Say that fast 3 times. My mouth doesn't know the difference either. So whatever symbolic, I mean, these little things, these aren't CDs, for heaven's sakes, but they remind me of that. They're the symbolic, they hold that symbolic structure for me for that. So you're looking to find things that are in this symbolism, which is the language of spirit. And your spirit and divine spirit commune, connect, and you do your part, which is suit up, show up, and do the deal. And divine spirit does divine spirit's part, which is giving you the way to make it happen. Make sense? We get our roles mixed up. We think we've got to do it all. And it's got to look a certain way, and it's got to be done in this time frame, whatever. And we cut God out of the whole thing. Our part is to suit up, show up, and do our part. And let the manifestation of it be gifted to us. Now, let's face it, I have to sit in front of the computer, I have to write those guided meditations. And I have to sit down, and I have to communicate them into some recording device. I have just discovered there's someone in our church that is looking to start doing CD making or MP3 making for people with music and stuff. Like, oh, I'm stoked! I didn't do that. Spirit said, oh, let me inspire this person to do that. And it's like just what I need right now when I need it. Because this next Dream Quest class is coming up, and they're going to need that guided meditation like soon. So I need to get on this. Now, if I don't do it, then I'm not taking advantage of the opportunity that Spirit showed up. I take the opportunity to do my part, to suit up, show up, and do the deal, get it all written out. Now I got to call this person and say, Sam, what's your schedule like when we can get together? And here's what I want. Could we do birds or try? I don't know, whatever. That make sense? My part is just to dream and then do the deal. And God's part is beyond my imagination. It never occurred to me to ask for help. Well, it did, and then the person I had used in the past is no longer business, and I was like, I can't find him, I don't know what to do. Spirit showed up. How cool is that? But it wasn't until I put it out there and said, here's what I want to do. So dream dreams, people. Dream. You know, why do we not dream? We get discouraged. I got discouraged looking at the floorboard of Phil's car. That's not my dream. He's out, oh, and I get to use a grinder, and I get to do this, and I get to tap weld these. Oh, that's probably not the right word. What's the right word? The way you... Pop rivet. Tap weld. Pop rivet. And I'm going, oh, God, that just sounds like hell to me. So if you're discouraged, maybe you're looking at somebody else's dream. Maybe you're looking at somebody else's dream or somebody else's expectation of what your dream should be. Because your dreams are like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do that. That's a dream. If that's not what you're feeling, it's duty, obligation, responsibility, drudgery. Right? So dream. So let me do a guided meditation with you, shall we? Let's